Everyone wants to talk about Rolex or Omega or fancy watch brands, and I am usually one of those people. I talk about mainstream brands a lot, I like mainstream brands a lot, but over the past few months, this has been my most worn watch. A $500 Tag Heuer Formula 1 from 1996. To me, watch collecting is finding those pieces you love and they fit your style, wrist size, complication preferences, and budget. Which isn't an easy task. Well, it is easy if you ignore budget like I usually do.
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
So here's a list of 6 cheap and awesome watches I think everyone needs in their life. We all knew it was going to start here, and we all knew it was going to start here because we are all good taste people. The Casio F-91W is one of those perfect blends of nostalgic, cool, functional, and so irresistibly affordable, like how can you not? Launched in 1989, this quickly became a bestseller due to its reliability, long battery life, and low price. As of 2011, annual production of the F-91W is 3 million units. 3 million units per year. For reference, Rolex sells about 1 million watches per year. So, a single Casio model is outselling all of Rolex, which I think is awesome. Specification-wise, it has a resin case, which is pretty standard for Casio, time display, alarm, stopwatch functionality. This is genuinely the only watch you need. It's cool, it looks cool, and the whole world has pretty much agreed on that, and that's why it sells so much. Next watch we need to talk about is the Tissot PRX. And you might be thinking, but Brittany, what about the Tissot Gentleman? That's also a great watch. And it is, but I specifically want to highlight the PRX because I think it is aesthetically cooler with the integrated bracelet, and it is an incredibly important model for them as a brand. I prefer the size options of the PRX in 35mm and 40mm, and because this is my video, this can also be pure dictatorship. So, PRX, baby. But for real, it's pretty hard to argue with the PRX. I don't think you can argue with this watch. So the quartz variations are priced around £335 or $395 USD, and the mechanical sit at £640 or around $675 USD. I think these feel more expensive than the price would suggest with the brushed case, the solid build quality. I would recommend the PRX all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Once again, we all knew this was coming. Having a G-Shock is absolutely essential in any collection. And this is where today's fabulous video sponsor, IFL, comes in. So this is the G-Shock Casio Blue Flamingo creation that has just been released today, and this is summertime on the wrist. This is fun. This is happy times on the wrist. Inspired by the electric energy of Miami and South Beach, with the bright pink and pastel blue mimicking the neon lights that reflect off the water. It's the rugged, do-it-all nature of the G-Shock meeting the carefree, playful, fun energy of Miami. This keeps all the awesome specifications of the Casio with the stainless steel octagonal case, shock resistance, 200 meters of water resistance, and anti-digi display with a quartz movement, but with a one-of-a-kind dial. Each dial is individually painted by the dial artists over at IFL to ensure the colors, transitions, and textures make every piece one of a kind. I really like this design. I think they knocked it out of the park. If you like the looks of this, if this is speaking to you, they are super limited, so just 200 pieces worldwide. Make sure you get one, make sure you lock it down. There will be a link in my description if you want to go click that, or you could click that to look at this piece, or just see what else IFL has on tap. Use my link so they know I sent you, and maybe they want to keep partnering with me forever and ever because they're awesome. And thank you so much to IFL for sponsoring this video. I think no matter what level of collector you are or what your budget is, you have to have a soft spot for Seiko. One of my more recent purchases is the Seiko 5 GMT, which is a great watch, but I specifically want to highlight the Seiko 5, the dive style that kind of replaced the SKX. There's quite a few different looks and vibes in the Seiko 5 lineup, but this would be my choice for the #1 Seiko everyone should own. I think it's so sporty looking, it's so cool. All the specifications you're looking for with 100 meters of water resistance, the 4R36 automatic movement, stainless steel case. I should probably add one of these to my life since I'm saying everyone should have one. I mean, I do have the GMT, but this is still the one I recommend more. These retail for £280, which is insane value for money, maximum cool factor. I just don't know how someone could argue with one of these. Okay, so this next one is a little bit biased because I'm gonna buy one of these for myself really soon, probably my next purchase, but the Citizen Tsuyosa. So these are available in 40 millimeters, and a couple of months ago, they introduced a 37 millimeter variation. Citizen is a funny little brand. Sometimes you really have to go looking for gold because there's a lot of draft. I might actually do an entire video on what to buy and what to not buy from Citizen, but that's a whole different video for another time. For our purposes today, the Tsuyosa is awesome. This is kind of the Oyster Perpetual, or Datejust I should say, of the brand. A very casual looking watch, sunburst dial, date complication. These have 50 meters of water resistance and a stainless steel case material. Now, opinions vary on whether one should go swimming in a 50 meters of water resistance timepiece. I personally say go for it, especially if you're swimming at a recreational level. If you're just going to the beach with your family, this is perfectly suitable. If you are going diving, it's then that you might need something a little bit more built for purpose. I am looking into buying one of the new 37 millimeter models. I have a couple 40 millimeters, love them, but I think 37 will be a better fit for me personally. This is another completely biased one. I recently bought myself one of these. I'm absolutely loving it. The Q Timex GMT. So this is a reissue from the 1970s, and it is dang lovely. This is incredibly wearable with a 38 millimeter case, stainless steel material, 50 meters of water resistance, and a bi-directional red-blue bezel. This does have a quartz movement, so that's something to bear in mind for the mechanical elitists out there. But once again, I think this is fantastic value for money. I wear mine so much. I love wearing it. It gets a lot of wrist time from me. Something I should highlight, the wrist hair pulling is strong in this one. Or at least that's what other people have been telling me. I personally haven't experienced this, but I have pretty fine hair. If you have a bit more wrist hair, something you should be cautious of. Okay, please don't unsubscribe. I would like to say this isn't a value for money video. The value proposition on these is frankly but this is a video about cheap watches that every collection needs, and honestly, I think every collection needs a cheap and cheerful, kinda stupid, playful watch. And that's exactly what this is. I have been kinda chronicling the MoonSwatch account since it was introduced in March 2022, and watching public opinion on this shift and change. A lot of the watch enthusiast community was pretty excited about these when they were first announced. Then we had a little shock over the price, but people could forgive that. It was just then the purchasing experience that turned most people off and into MoonSwatch hate mode. But now, in 2025, we're out of that mess. These are relatively easy to pick up. You can buy as many as you like, and I still really like the concept of these. So the MoonSwatch is the swatch interpretation of the iconic Omega Speedmaster. It keeps all the same proportions and design language, just using more affordable materials and a quartz movement. I am a MoonSwatch defender. I think they're cute, and it makes an iconic model more accessible to more people, and that's great. But anyways, guys, these are the 7 cheap watches I think every collection needs. Did I miss a big one? Did I miss your favorite? I don't know. Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you once again to IFL for sponsoring this video. You're amazing. I love this watch. Go check them out. And now, Pope Tier patrons. Get their names on the screen. Why am I doing this?